Who wants to get some lifting in? Yeah, Friday. Day number 138. It is July 31st, the last day of July. Jeez, crazy. So, today's strength component is going to be a barbell RDL with a tempo speed. What you guys are going to see is 4, 1, X, 1. What that means is 4 seconds down, 1 second pause at the bottom, normal speed, aggressive, coming back up, 1 second pause at the top before the next 4-second descent on your RDLs. All right. Also notice it says 1.5 to 2 minutes rest. I want you guys to start at 1.5 minute rest. And if the fatigue really starts to build on some of this stuff, push it out to as far as 2 minutes. Might be important because some people get pretty shaky in their hamstrings when they're performing barbell RDLs, especially with a controlled eccentric lowering of the rep, especially if the weight is appropriate for 5 reps. Now, second piece today is only going to be a 10-minute AMRAP. You are going to have ideally 2 dumbbells or 2 kettlebells, and we are going to perform 1 dumbbell hang squat clean. All right, 50-35 is the prescribed weight, so something in that neighborhood. You should be able to work through these, being able to hold on for at least a couple in the row. So 10 minutes, 1 dumbbell hang squat clean, 1 side shuffle down and back. Each distance is 25 feet, so you're gonna have to mark that off a little bit. Ideally, I hit my reps, stand up, put the dumbbells down, side shuffle to my right 25 feet, side shuffle back to my left 25 feet. The reps on that are going to ascend just like the dumbbell hang squat cleans are going to ascend. So 1 hang squat clean, 1 down and back. 2 hang squat cleans, 2 down and backs. 3, 3, 4, 4, etc., etc. We're going for 10 minutes. Do not underestimate how long some of these rounds are going to take once you guys get to 4, 5, and beyond. Right, early on, you're going to look at that clock. Holy crap! I'm ripping through this. This is going to be a high rep score. This is going to be terrible. Once you guys get through 4 or 5, or even 2, 4 or 5, the shuffles and the time that you're stopping at the top and breathing on those hang squat cleans is going to slow that rate down, and it's going to become a considerably, at least feel like a considerably slower workout. Now, third piece today, which is different for this week, not a lot of 3 pieces. The third piece is going to be a bit of accessory work, which is going to be a banded kickback. Again, I will demonstrate. You can do it 2 different ways. You can take a pull-apart band, for example, and anchor it to something, or you can simply just use a hip circle and anchor the band to the opposite leg. All right, the goal is 100 reps each leg, and pay attention when I demonstrate this in a minute. Distance is not necessarily as important as engagement and quality. I'll give you guys a visual to that.
Alright guys, so we're starting with the RDLs today. A couple things I want to make sure we go over here. One is, mechanically speaking, remember the focus is on getting that pull in the hamstrings and using that pull from the hamstrings. So as I go through this movement, I'm actively trying to push down and back, more probably back than down, into my hamstring with a slight knee bend until I get a big pull at the bottom. As soon as I get that pull, I'm going to squeeze and extend back through. Remember, the tempo is 1, 2, 3, 4, up, 1. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, hesitate, up, 1. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do for the workout is I'm going to set up my 25-foot shuffle distance, which for the purpose of this video is going to go this way and back, right? So I'm changing directions, which means I'm going to face the same way. So I'm going to take off and I'm going to come back facing the camera. But the first thing is going to be that dumbbell hang clean, right? Hang to a squat. So I don't care if it's above the knees, below the knees, but I want there to be some hip dip in action. So hip dip, action, full squat up, step down on the ground, whatever it is, and then I'm into my 25 down and 25 back. Now, you guys might be thinking, well, what if I toss the hip circle on? Make that shuffle a little harder. I don't want you to do that because I don't want you to, one, lose the time, and two, make it harder so that it makes you slower. Let's let the cleans and the shuffle itself do that. Alright, so get into those kickbacks. Like I said earlier, if you can use a pull-apart, basically, or a larger band if you want, in which case we would anchor it to something, get some distance away from it, maybe have to wrap it around the anchor a couple times, and do the kickbacks. But here, I'm going to use the hip circle, flex the hamstring, squeeze the glute. There's a little bit of outward kick with that, so not necessarily a 45-degree angle, but a little bit less. But the big thing is when I'm doing that kicking, I'm not creating a hinge point or arch or flexion point at the lower back, okay? It's support, just kind of squeeze the glute, flex.
Stay tuned for movement modifications.
Alright, so with the modifications today, dumbbells, kettlebells, barbell, all pretty much going to be the same thing for the RDL for the hang cleans. If we have a single dumbbell or a single kettlebell, then we're holding that in the center for the RDL, and we are single arming and alternating sides on the cleans. Okay, so try and get those even as best you can. Maybe even start one odd round with the right, start the next odd round with the left, and that'll even out over time. Now, if we only have a band, obviously for the RDLs, we're going to go with the banded good morning, or technically, if you can get enough slack out of that RDL, you might even be able to do an RDL or double it up like this. And hinge into your lift from there, okay? When it comes to the hang cleans, however, that's something that's going to be a little bit trickier, in which case, here's what I would suggest. Set it on the shoulders. Do some front squats. You can even do the good morning again. You can do an upright row if you want. I would probably suggest keeping those reps the same the whole way through, like maybe 10 upward rows into 10 of those banded front squats, and then doing an ascending scheme with the shuffle. So the 1, the 2, the 3, just like we would have if we had